Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom and we will be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour or more of football conversation to make your Monday a Blue Monday. David Diamond, he wasn't here last week, but he's back this week.
Ben, Rich, good to be back. I'm quite liking this season because I'm little like holidays, and so are you, of course. You know,
you're like Paul Scholes, aren't you?
Yeah, for the last 2.5 seasons, it's been pretty full on every Sunday, and so I quite like a little break. Enjoyed the show last week, very good. But
would you normally make a comment when I compare you to a football that you're better than them?
Say it again.
Normally, when I compare you to a footballer, you find a reason, like Paul Scholes, you'd say you were better at tackling, yeah?
Yeah, you said Paul Scholes. Yeah, I'm not even sure I was good a tackler as Paul Scholes. I would never, I'd never put myself anywhere near that bracket in any shape or form.
Ladies and gentlemen, he was very two-footed, though, David Diamond, on the pitch. And from the wildly popular preview show, Harry from Bath's straight man, Richard Woodward. How you doing, Rich?
Afternoon, gents.
Does that make you wise to Harry's Eric Morecambe?
Well, I was comparing. It was an Ant and Dec comparison yesterday in the pod beforehand, and I was unfavourably compared with the one who's had a bit of a break.
And which one's Chalobah? Or which one's Cooper? Which one's Webb? I bet you get that
I'm
one
a straight man, so there's no dead wood.
Did I understand that you had the dubious honour of sitting next to said Mr. Bloom at the match yesterday?
I did. Or he had the dubious pleasure of...
That is a rare honour.
He got to listen to me shout nonsense in my kind of fake Birmingham accent so that we weren't spotted by anyone.
But maybe it was. He thought it was a case of perhaps good luck because 2 years ago, that's when we went. I think it's the only time I've sat with you up. Well, certainly in the away section. And look what happened then. But spoiler alert.
Richard took it upon himself to pretend that he was an Aston Villa fan, much to my amusement. And so, you know, like those those moany football fans that just moan about everything they do. So Richard pretended he was an Aston Villa fan and just moaned about everything they did. It was very funny because I was the only one in on the joke.
And apparently they were moaning fairly non-stop after spoiler alert, after what happened early on in the game, they got a bit eggy, didn't they? By all accounts.
They're always eggy.
They've got very high standards. Them and
apparently
their European Cups, Dave.
And apparently we really hate the El Mohammadi shite.
Oh yeah, no, they're not fans of El Mohammadi. We'll come on to that. We've got lots of Villa stuff for you. But Dave, we've heard Richard's thoughts on the preview show. Marcus Evans sticks his head above the parapet once again for a Q&A. So no reading players' names off a flip chart this time. Did we learn anything new from this Q&A?
Nothing. I mean, I don't know what you said I missed that bit on the previous show, but we didn't really learn anything we didn't know already. I mean, he said what he said about Hurst, that you'd expect him to say that, yes, he was the right appointment, but no, with hindsight, it all went tits up after he was appointed, in the season. Oh, he hasn't said, great, Lambert staying, Brill. What could he say? Okay, nice to sort of hear from him again, I suppose, but he hasn't said anything there we don't already know, has he?
Like an old friend, just appearing, poking you on Facebook. Richard, Jordan Roberts and Danny Rowe, both off they go to Lincoln on loan. How does this shake out for the players, for Ipswich and for Lincoln?
So it's worked out pretty decent for Danny Rowe, hasn't it? Is that 3 goals in 2 matches, Dave? You were telling us yesterday.
Yeah, 3 and 2. I watched some of the game. Hell of a game, I've got to say. Brilliant game. I watched quite a bit of that last night. Because Berry I didn't really realise, I've been scoring goals for absolute fun. So, yeah, it's 3-3 in the end. Great game. Roberts came on. He was on the bench. He came on as sub. It was when Berry were very much in the ascendancy towards the end of the game, so he didn't really get into the game. But I must admit, I missed Rowe's goal, but by all accounts, he played pretty well.
Yeah. So immediately they're playing, aren't they? I mean, that's the big difference for them leaving from us. I think we had a question on the preview about Danny Rowe and whether he feels hard done by or whether he's right to feel hard done by. I suspect he might have had a better chance, but Roberts, I think, was always a stopgap, wasn't he? And now we've got in Keane and Quaner and all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
We've got better options, haven't we?
I mean, Rowe, you'd have loved, interesting to see. I know it's little things and little margins in football. The incredible volley he had against Preston when it was saved by an outfield player for cry. Had that gone,
oh yeah, good
goal.
shout, yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, he's off and running, isn't he? Perhaps, who knows? Brilliant technique and stuff. But you've got to say, maybe he's found his level. However, if that, we'll see. We'll see. But
so we might see them next season, depending on if the worst happens. They might feature next season, might they?
Yeah.
Otherwise, Lincoln might sign them.
Norfolk Police evidently heard Joe Fair's rant on the podcast last week, and once they heard it, they've decided that in another glorious twist, no alcohol would be on sale to Ipswich Town fans for the forthcoming East Anglian derby. So before you respond, Dave, let me just give you the the shit list basically for Ipswich fans. So each ticket has to be attributed to a customer number with your name printed on the ticket. Photo ID needs to be carried to match up the name on the ticket with the ID. The fans need to be at the ground an hour before kick-off for security checks. They're now not going to be served any alcohol, and one would assume they'll be kept in at the end of the game. Dave, do you concur with Joe's views on this?
But you agree with me? It sounds like an Ed Sheeran concert, doesn't it?
I'm waiting for 3 years of bank statements being needed as well.
I won't go.
Address if you
I refuse to go. So the last time I went,
you haven't been for ages, have you, Dave?
No, it was, and I used to go every season when we were there. Was the Grant Hull horrible 4-1 game? It was cold. It snowed. Went with my mate. Went with Pat, and we parked in the council car park. Brilliant, which is about 10-minute walk from the ground, the other way from the station. You're kept in afterwards, and you have no option but to be marched to the station and come back again. It's absolute bullshit, and it's obviously worse now because then we're in the pub drinking beforehand. Not a problem at all. But it's overkill, isn't it? And is it really as a result of these just a few who I don't know, bit in a sort of high-spirited way pull down some light fittings and stuff? I don't know. Is that a knee jerk as a result of that? I mean, that was obviously all over social media, wasn't it? All over Twitter and Instagram and wherever. It's such I think it's an overkill, but I don't know.
But Dave, I was talking to Rich in the car yesterday about this. I'm worried now because Ipswich fans are going to be annoyed before they even go in there. Those that want to drink are now going to have to do that before 11 a.m. in the morning.
It could be a horrible.
Could actually even make things worse. So I'm a bit concerned. Richard,
so you're going. This is a game you have. This is a game. I assume you have to.
It's one of the best games for the channel we get all season. So
no. But do you have? Can you get a ticket? Have you got a ticket?
I'm all sorted. I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Are you going, Rich?
No.
It's just
I've not done it for a while, but it's just it's too far for me anyway. But
it's hassle,
Sunday,
mate.
12 o'clock.
It's just hassle. I think Mikey might be going, is he?
Yeah,
Mikey's going. Yeah. Mikey said he was going to go until we won there, didn't he?
Oh, Christ almighty!
We might have a long wait.
Wow. Yeah. Well, he might not have to worry for a few seasons.
Yeah. Well, it's okay because there is good news because Twitter sensation Naked Martin, a now famous online naturist, performed what I can only describe as a wonderful dance to Edward Ebenezer Brown online. So if you are of a weak disposition in respect of nudity,
we're not going to put the video up, are we, Ben?
No, we won't be going anywhere near this. But Richard, I just wanted to get your comments on Naked Martin and his burgeoning Ipswich Town fandom.
I'm not sure. Do you want me to critique the dance or?
I just want your thoughts on it, Rich.
I mean, you don't have to follow him. You don't have to watch the video. So I'm not going to criticise him. He's up for a laugh. He's having a bit of fun. I think he got a bit of abuse on Twitter, which is a bit harsh. But he got
a lot of love as well.
He got some love, and he's now got a hashtag ITFC in his profile. I think he's kind of taken us to his heart. And
new celebrity fan, Dave?
I must admit, I know about it. I haven't brought myself to watch it yet. But was it like bollock naked?
Absolutely, swinging everywhere. And he's got a very, very interesting dance style, which is very entertaining.
Has he done something before? Is this his second attempt?
I think he's doing one for every championship club.
So go and check out Naked Martin.
For all dances, all good dances, all equal.
The collections for both both excellent dancers. Let me tell you something that's excellent. February the 16th, Blue Monday Live is sold out. We are sold out, ladies and gentlemen. So wonderful, wonderful news. Thank you to everybody who's bought tickets. Now, what we need to establish, if there's anybody, sorry, I'm banging my mic. If there's anybody who had tickets for the original show scheduled for after the West Brom game in November, please get in touch and we will give you a refund, and then we can put those extra ones on sale because there's still a couple of weeks to go. But brilliant news. We're so grateful to everybody that's bought tickets. So sold out, and we'll do some stuff on Twitter if any tickets come back. What about that, Dave?
Fantastic, mate. Although there's not 50 tickets coming back, is there?
Well, we'll find out. That's what I meant.
No, it's brilliant, mate. It's brilliant, and I mean, we won't sort of perhaps spoiler alert, won't say too much now, but we've also some incredible followers that are coming over for the game, but are coming from far-flung places. I mean, really, in some cases.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes. Dennis from New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Name, yeah.
Some good efforts. Brilliant. Well, less far-flung is that kind of scabby part of Birmingham, where there is a nice bit of Birmingham where you drive out and there's all those old kind of Georgian houses.
It's but if you walk, I remember when we parked up, we walked like through the park.
Yeah,
to Villa. All right.
Yeah, fair comment. But we were there yesterday. Aston Villa versus Ipswich, where Ipswich, like many stadiums, seemingly do not have a very good record at all. Let me go through this team and we'll get your read on it, because it seems like all the criticisms we made from our eye test last week were kind of remedied by Paul Lambert. So I'll go through this and we'll go through the key changes. So back in goal, Bartosz Białkowski. Back four, Pennington, Chambers, Collins, Kenlock in at left back over Elder. Back to a three-man centre midfield. So Skew's sitting with Chalobah, Flynn, Downs back in. Sears off to the right. Judge not in the 10 position, starts off to the left. Will Keane up front. So Dave, Białkowski in goal, Kenlock back, Downs back, Quainer out, and a 4-3-3 rather than 4-2-3-1. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we'd have all taken that at the start. I think generally, people are with Bart over Gherkin, despite his sort of seemingly indifferent form throughout the season. And certainly, I think Kenlock in for Elder. I mean, Elder was clearly at fault for both goals against Blackburn. Got wrong side both times. We'll get on to Kenlock, no doubt, whether he had the greatest game yesterday. Maybe not. But, yeah, I haven't got an issue with that at all. And Quainer against Blackburn seemingly struggled, didn't really make any impact at all. So I don't think, looking at that side, you'd disagree too much with that. Personally, would I want to see Judge more involved inside in that 10 role? Probably yes, but, if not, yeah, I'd go with that.
Dave, Rich and I had an amusing conversation about half an hour into the game yesterday to the effect of you could put Didier Drogba up front there on his own and he'd have about as much joy as Quaidar and Keane are having at the moment. Richard, anything to add on the team?
Nope. That's all fair stuff there.
Okay, so the Villa side, Kalinic, the new guy in goal, Hutton, Elphick's back from Hull now, Chester, Taylor, Whelan in front of the back four with McGinn and Hurrihana, Doma off to the right, El Ghazi off to the left, Abraham, the goal machine, up front. But Richard, you didn't need to be a goal machine to score this opening goal. So do you want to take me through this from clumsy foul by Chalobah up to the goal?
It's an innocuous foul from Chalobah. This sets the tone straight away from Keith Stroud, which is if you fall over.
Was Keith Stroud the ref yesterday?
Keith Stroud was the referee.
Oh, okay.
So we not mentioned that.
Yeah, we'll get on to him later.
This is important because every single thing we will mention from now on, he has an influence on, because we're there to watch him, not the football. We're here to watch Keith Stroud. He's the star.
Keith's bloody Stroud. Yeah.
So Chalobah barges into the back. I can't remember who. I guess it's El Ghazi. Was it probably on the left-hand side? I'm trying to think. It's just kind of a budge in the back of him. He's down straight away like a sack of potatoes. Free kick in a position similar to where Villa scored against Hull last week from the opposite side. Hurahan over it. We know he can take a dead ball. Something that I picked up when the goal was scored was Abraham and Collins were kind of jostling. and Abraham does really well. Actually, shove Collins out of the way, steals a yard, and it's a side foot kind of volley finish from really close in. Can't miss, and it's standard Ipswich. There was a bit of chat, Dave, about Bart. The chat and stuff. It was maybe that he was a bit static.
Yeah,
we didn't really comment on that.
He's got to come for that. He's got to come and try and get something. He's got to attack that ball. Well, it's a great delivery. It's a brilliant delivery from Hourihane. Superb. We know he can do it. And you're dead right. I picked up on that. He does out-muscle. Fair play, Abraham. He out-muscles Collins, and then Chambers a little bit. Chambers is a bit caught. I mean, I don't think you'd be too critical there. But look where the ball is. He puts the ball in, won't say unchallenged, because he's got there from, 4 yards? Yeah. Sorry, Bart is on his line. Bart has to come and attack that ball.
But we didn't say that,
try and just get something on it. You know,
we didn't pick up on that in the game. But...
Definitely, but no, you wouldn't. But if you see it, you've seen it back.
It's difficult in real time. You see it coming. You know what you're going to get from Hourihane, and
it's a great cross. Take nothing away from the delivery. It's brilliant. However, if Bart doesn't come to catch that, Bart has got to try and come off his line and get something on that ball, a fist, anything, something on it.
Interesting.
But he's static. I don't know. What I mean, agreed.
Say again.
You agree with that?
Yeah,
I mean,
look, we had the view in the game, and you've obviously watched on the so I
don't think. Don't get me wrong.
You're not normally wrong, Dave. So yeah.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the goal's totally down the Bart, but it just looks shit.
You've used the word over and again, Dave. Soft, and it gets to the point. I make notes on these games where when we get a free kick, I make an important who committed the foul on who, because it's quite likely we're going to concede a goal from.
Well, that was a silly. You're right. That was a silly foul because Pennington looked like he was going to get the ball. Well, there was two of them out there with the wide player, El Ghazi, whoever it was. They looked like they had it all under control. I would say it's a petulant foul. It's just a silly foul.
It's silly. It's clumsy.
Joe's point last week, Dave, about clumsy, silly mistakes all over, isn't it?
Yeah. And the worst thing, sorry, just quickly, Dave, it's 5 minutes in, and we know our away form's terrible, so we're going to need to attack, which we haven't. It was our first goal. Well, spoiler alert, we score. Yeah. The first away goal in 10 hours, according to the commentary that I was back in highlights. It's game over pretty much as soon as we concede, and for it to happen so early, it just kills it for us, doesn't it?
And that makes it doubly worse because you're not telling me that Lambert, surely of course they do their homework. They watch the videos, watch the DVDs, whatever they watch of the Villa games, and they say, well, we saw it last week. Hourihane delivery against Hull. Look, don't give silly free kicks away there. He's got a dynamite left foot. Delivery will be spot on. 5 minutes, bang, goal. And the thing is, Abraham, yes, he physically does really well to get past Collins, but he doesn't have to do much. You're right. It's so soft. Side foot volleys it in. 3 yards. Just
one other thing to add before we move on. Villa, if you're losing, can be very overwhelming, but if you're holding them, they will turn, and you're just throwing a goal against 5 minutes.
So frustrating.
Dave, several more examples of split centre halves, goal kicks coming out. Can I suggest now that of the back, of the back 7 players, only Chalobah and maybe Collins are capable of even doing this. So Chambers is not comfortable. Collins is reasonably comfortable, but does give it away. Kenlock can't receive the ball from the long goal kick, and Pennington can't receive it to feet. And Skewes is not Norwood or Leitner. He can't come in and then be a playmaker. He can't do it. Chalobah maybe can, but Dave, these short goal kicks, they're very admirably trying to keep doing it, but it's getting silly now, isn't it?
Mick Mills on Suffolk, it was summarised. I think everybody pretty much acknowledges obviously the knowledge of the game, and people can, perhaps give him the thumbs down for perhaps being a bit dour and a bit negative sometimes. He was apoplectic yesterday with it. He was absolutely raging about it. He said, they're just not good enough to do that. Why are we doing that? We're not good enough to doing that. We are putting ourselves under an unnecessary pressure. And I think 2 or 3 times we nearly got caught out trying to play that way. I think once even we had to put it out through a throw or even a corner.
We lost the corner on one.
We lost the corner. Yeah. Set pieces. We can't give set pieces away. Jordan, my son, said something. He said, "Dad, we could have perhaps got away with that last year with Webster playing, who's a proper footballing centre back. Admirable that he's trying to do it, but don't. I mean, it's just gonna cause us pain."
I guess the one thing I'd chuck in there is that both Bart and Gherkin's kicking is rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah. If we had a
we're basically giving away possession anyway from our goal kicks. So I guess it's, do you try to keep it by keeping the ball and hoping that the other team doesn't press you, or do you just kick it out for a throw, which is what Gherkin and Bart most times, 8 out of 10 times, it'll go out when they take it.
How was Bart? Aside from that, how was Bart's kicking distribution yesterday?
It wasn't bad, was it, Ben? I don't think he.
There was a couple where they. Regardless of how it was yesterday, Dave. You've already said the salient comment is that he's not really the guy to be doing that, and they just don't look. They don't look comfortable doing it.
And the supporters, when they do, it's almost shit.
And I'm not suggesting.
You're looking at it through.
I'm not suggesting a Neil Warnock type, right, try and win a throw-in on halfway and then everybody up the pitch or whatever. But, this does seem to be getting ridiculous now. But there you go. Kenlock takes a yellow. McGinn, for the first time in the game, does a number on us there. We get into the 25 to 40 minute period, and this is where Villa are actually on top here. Great chance to Doma in from right to left. Chambers gets his angles a bit wrong. Abraham in behind. Works Bielkowski, good save. Then we get a breakaway. Judge wins a great header. If Chalobah was Jim Magilton, I know if your auntie was your uncle or whatever, he plays Sears straight in, but he just delays a little bit, and Sears holds his run, and the attack kind of breaks down further on. Keane gets involved, and it breaks for Chalobah, but he gets his volley blocked. Another kind of half chance. Villa faffing about at the back in a similar way to us. Chester does well against Keane, then gives it away to Chalobah. Good low shot by Chalobah, but Kalinic is well behind that. Richard, Villa edged that first half, but really that much better in terms of getting behind and creating clear chances, using the ball.
We were in it, weren't we? You said edge, but in terms of number of chances, they outshot us, didn't they? I think they were more dominant in the first half. But as always with most games this season, if we haven't conceded or we were one down, we're actually in the game. We're not, it wasn't an onslaught. We did let him in a few times, but we were well in the game. And I think that was probably the thought that made me at halftime think, well, if we fluke something here, if we manage to get a goal out of nothing, they will get nervy. And we kind of saw it. There was definitely frustration that things weren't necessarily clicking. So they were the better team without a huge amount of threat, but we just weren't creating enough up front, were we? And that's been the issue since day one this season.
Into the second half, Kenlock half clears here. It's driven into McGinn. Great technique. You'd have liked this one, Dave. He flicks his left foot at it kind of on the volley and just puts it over. How many times have we seen this? Lambert gets Quainer ready. Quainer gets stripped off, ready to go. Ipswich concede a corner, and David, would you like to take it from here? Glenn Whelan's going to knock this corner over.
Talk about this goal.
Was it Whelan or Hutton? It was a Whelan took it, was it? Whelan, okay. Chipsy.
Don't mention Keith Stroud if you can, David. Go.
Well, the only thing I'd mention about the ref in this is that, the corner comes off. It's not a particularly good corner. I don't think it's rehearsed. Certainly not rehearsed for McGinn, I don't think, unless he's teeing up a volley or something like that. So it's drifting out harmlessly. It's an odd one. And so he's going towards McGinn, and then doing this. Judge sort of steps in and sort of rolls away from it. We haven't got the view of the other side, and you can't see Judge's arm, whether it's on McGinn or whatever, but you see it all the time. So Judge sort of rolls him and rolls away from the challenge, and he's off on an attack. And having said that, in the refs, if you are giving the ref any benefit at all, he's 5 yards away. So he can see that from pretty much that angle, can't he? That side-on angle, which we can't, and you surely. Well, you might have had a better angle where you were looking diagonally at it, did you? Not where the camera exactly.
We were the camera angle, I think, weren't we?
Yeah, you guess you would have been. It looks so soft, and how he goes down. It's fairly dramatic, isn't it? Christ Almighty, throws himself down. But Stroud is right there. He doesn't hesitate, does he? Doesn't hesitate. Can't wait. I say can't wait to give it. He's right there.
You can say that. He couldn't wait to give it. He's been doing that all game. Couldn't wait.
But all right. But when you're down there, I know it seems ridiculous, but Mills and I think Brenner, Wooly said it on the commentary. When you're down there, they're the decisions that go against you.
Well, the Villa players managed to play into it as well, because literally any contact of any type, if you went down, he was given a he was given a free kick and a foul for anything.
Is it a bit naive on Judge's part? We've seen it so often. I think that's the 4th penalty in the last 5 games we've given away. Spence at Stoke, fairly similar, I'd say, to that almost. That came from did that not come from a corner? Fairly sort of similar. Maybe not. I can't remember, but you just can't. It's going against us at the moment. Yeah, you've another game. Things going for you, get away with it. But in the refs. If there is any credit to the ref, he's right there on the spot and he gives it straight away.
Richard,
what can you say?
Yeah, I think it's Burrow, isn't it? The penalty you're talking about with Spence, where he
Burrow.
Yeah, he gets his body in the kind of way.
Similar,
at the time I laughed because I as soon as he gave it, I kind of thought, well, yeah, of course he's going to give it. It looks soft. Centre back definitely is. And the other thing that we kind of looked at, and he's never been good at this as well either, Bart, is that the penalty. Bart doesn't even anywhere near it. I know it's the odds are in the strikers' favour, but Bart's never been good at penalties, has he? I think he's got 1 or 2 saves, but
no, he's never.
It was just really, really simple. It was like fall over, win the penalty, side foot it into the corner. It's 2-0. Yeah. To be fair, Villa had started the second half much better. Obviously, Smith kind of got to him saying, right, this could peter out if we don't get the second goal. So get the second goal. They did that. And again, we're kind of thinking, right, well, that's properly game over. We've got our 2-0 now, so let's keep it at that rather than it going to 3 or 4.
It's typical Town, they've sort of, I guess, okay, yes, 15 minutes in second half, and you have weathered the storm a bit,
Yeah, cool.
So
I'm just gesturing. Rich, can you just pull your mic down a bit? I'm getting a lot of breathy. There we go. Lovely. Really, really soft one, and McGinn does Stroud, but there you go. We've all seen it. We all know. Quainer comes in for Keane. We were wondering whether we might get Judge behind. We might get them all on and Quainer down the right or something. But no, he sticks with the 4-3-3.
How was Keane overall yesterday? Didn't really show. No.
He struggled, but I would find it hard to blame him given the first half service.
However. In about a few minutes, Flynn Downs is going to become Glenn Hoddle, isn't he?
Okay. So Abraham slid into the box.
Sorry, Jim Mitchell.
Tries to chip Bar. I think you were right, Rich. Doesn't really have a left foot and knew he didn't have the power on that one, so he goes for the chip. El Mohammadi comes in for a Doma. And here we go. Here comes the big moment that seems to have triggered a lot of controversy. So. Slid through to Quainer. What was it by Downs? Is that the pass you're talking about? So Quainer's bustling. He does really, really well. There's 2 centre halves, and he gets in behind both of them. He pulls away. He goes through on goal. Out comes Kalinic. We've got shades of Will Keane last week. Quainer goes around him. It's an open goal. He doesn't take a touch. He hits it first time along the floor, which I've seen a few people criticise, lift it and guarantee you're scoring the goal. Elphick throws himself in, slides it, it's going behind him. His arm is behind him, I guess, in a natural position, and the ball hits the ball, which is going directly into the goal 4 yards behind him, hits Elphick's arm. No decision at all. So either the ref hasn't seen that and the linesman hasn't seen that, or they've very quickly decided that that's not a deliberate handball because he's sliding. Dave, you look like you're ready to go on this one.
Well, I just saw I caught Alex, Alex Griffin's blog.
Okay.
And he had it right there. And it is a pretty nailed on now. I mean, you even see he's much better, and it's he drags it back. It's his hand. You say open goal. Chester may well have still got it. Chester was still behind him. It wasn't. I will say it, Ben. It wasn't Marcus Stewart. Well, we'll just lift this one in the top corner type finish. But he does everything right, and I think you're doing Quainer a bit of disservice there, because when you said bustling, he took it really well. It was a great ball from Downs.
I meant that as a compliment, Dave.
No. Yeah. He surprises me actually. His first touch is brilliant. Does everything right. Slides it past Kalinic, perhaps not quite as wide as Keane did last week. And does pretty much everything right. And it's a handball. I don't know. Linesmen, but assistants just don't give anything. They always, and I say it week in, week out, because that's where I sit. They react to the ref every single time on any decision of any important type of importance, they'll react to the ref every
Yeah,
time.
they don't want to be seen to be giving a different decision or disagree. And also, I mean, we try and be fair on here. We don't know what they're saying through the mics to each other, do we?
We don't know what they're saying. I mean, it was quite interesting on Quest last night. Holloway, your favourite Ben, basically said, "Oh yeah, he's got those both wrong." Categorically said ref's got both of those wrong.
Richard?
Colin Murray was interesting. He said the Quainer one was a definite pen, and he was like 50-50 on the Judge McGinn one. But again, it's just how it is. When you're down there, those decisions all seem to go against you. Well, not a decision. You didn't make a decision. It's poor.
Richard?
Yeah. 2 in 2 weeks now, isn't it, as well? Critical handballs.
Yeah, and it's do you know what? It's
Dave, let him have an answer. Go on.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
I wasn't getting out a huge amount because he's got it spot on. I think at the time I hadn't really spotted the ball. I think you were pretty adamant, Ben, it was a handball.
That was my first instinct. Handball.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I said.
And I think it was, I mean, there was someone covering on the line, definitely. So I don't think it was going to go in. It's quite a slow shot, but it's right in front of the away support. The lino is actually looking straight at it as well. So, but as you said, the lino yesterday was just there for offsides, and you can imagine the Stroud not wishing to totally bury it.
Not
but
flag.
I said, I'm here for decisions. Yeah. You're here for watching the line. That's all you're here for. And it was a really, there's a good time in the game to score then, with plenty of time to get a second. But we wouldn't have to wait too long.
Segue. 75th minute. Here we go. Whose goal is this? It's yours, Richard, isn't it? So we've got Pennington and Quainer kind of partnering up quite well down the right. Pennington sets Quainer away, and what happens next, Rich?
It's a good run from Quainer, actually. He made a really good impression, actually, coming on second half. Another good run down the right-hand side. Cuts the ball across. I think he's looking for Judge initially, actually, and Judge can't get his feet right. It comes out. I can't remember who plays it back out to
Downs.
Sears, but Sears, is it Downs who's getting forward as well? Blimey. Sears takes a touch to take it away from the defender and give himself a yard, and out of nowhere slams it into the top right-hand corner. It's definitely going upwards. I think it's got a bit of left to right in it as well. It's right in the corner. It's a great shot, and suddenly from nowhere, Villa Park is quiet. The away fans have been pretty desperate, God bless them, in the front of the stand getting soaked because it's pissing down rain as well, and suddenly it's game on. But that was out of nothing, wasn't it, Ben? That goal, that was no clue that was going to come.
Dave, as Sears gets the ball,
you give it the whack.
No, well, Pennington and Quainer were both free on the angle, and I'm like, don't shoot, Freddie, don't shoot. But Dave, is that Ipswich's goal of the season?
What others are there? A rival, probably Harrison against, was it Millwall, was good. I don't think it was as good as that. I do like his goal against Bristol City. That was a class goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think with the pass as well.
Yeah, the Sheffield United one's decent as well, isn't it?
I think that's the one Dave meant when he said Millwall.
Sorry, is that Sheffield United?
Oh no, Caden Jackson against Millwall was a great goal, wasn't it?
Oh no, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. We're amazing, aren't we? Look at all these great goals.
Many goals.
But Dave, Freddie, what is it? 6 goals? 6 goals under Lambert, and I was just about ready to. He's frustrating me again, and maybe. But Lancaster's injured, so.
That was a great. It was a great strike. As you say, keeper no chance, and from almost nothing. Okay, it came a few minutes after the Quainer penalty, handball, whatever. But good for 6 goals. Yeah, superb.
Who was the ref yesterday?
Stride.
Keith Stroud Claxon, everybody. Jonathan Codger comes up to come on as a substitute. He's on the side. They're trying to get his attention. Kalinic, the goalkeeper, waits to take a goal kick for the sub to be made. Keith Stroud books him for time wasting and then lets the sub come on. It's the most ridiculous.
But also, throughout the game, particularly in the first half, the impression I was getting, was he not pissing people off with bloody advantages and stuff like that?
There was one very simple excuse was getting so cross
some ridiculous
with him
drop
as well.
ball.
Yes, we should have had a contested drop ball right in front of their goal, and then he let it go back to Villa and kicked it back to us.
Well, that was very frustrating because we were in a great crossing position. Judge had it, and Glenn Whelan, being a smarty pants, is on the floor with one leg on the pitch and the rest of his body off the pitch, and Stroud stops it for a head injury.
Yeah.
His head's not on the pitch, Dave. Dear oh me.
Was his head had been knocked off the pitch, Ben, has it?
And then the worst bit, I think it was McGinn. They dropped the ball. He's booted it right down. He booted it 80 yards right down.
Yeah, they weren't happy about that.
Away from us. Judge wins a free kick on 79. Dave absolutely beautiful delivery, swings it in behind the wall. Chalobah goes near post, flicks the header.
Does
hits
everything
the
right.
Post.
Yeah, does everything right. Oh, well, other than put it in the net. But yeah, he's just so unlucky, isn't it? So unlucky. And they're saying Chambers, if you look at that again, Chambers thinks it's in. Not that Chambers I don't think can affect it at all, but he's sort of thinking it's in, and
Waghorn-esque delivery though from Judge there.
That was a great ball. Yeah, I mean,
did
he show? I mean, you were at both games. Did he show better yesterday? Was there more from him yesterday? Did he look fitter? Did he look more involved?
A little bit, but the thing that's in my head that's really hopeful is when we did the David Johnson interview, he said when Magilton arrived, Magilton demanded more from the other players in terms of their first touch, in terms of their passing, and what I have seen from Judge in the first two games is he is really annoyed when the ball's not moved quickly, when people have a bad first touch. So hopefully, he can try and raise the standard. And when people are having three touches to control the ball,
have you seen his sort of evidence of his pace, or hasn't that not really been? He hasn't really been in that position yet to be able to use it.
I haven't seen
he roamed. He did he roamed quite a lot yesterday, didn't he? He was. Yeah. I thought he was. One thing I would say, I'll give Keith Stroud a compliment, is he was consistent for that free kick, because it was what's his Judge who won the free kick by doing exactly what McGinn did to win the penalty. Went up in the air and did his kind of platoon dive to the ground, and Stroud gave the free kick for that. So at least Keith Stroud got it consistent there.
Hurahan, yellow on Chalobah. Jednak comes on for El Ghazi. And then that was our moment when Chalobah hit the post. They ran out of steam a bit. Big one forward. They lose Abraham in behind. I think he's just knackered by this point. It's a poor shot and should have scored. Bialkowski saves it. Another big chance at the end here. And this was some evidence of 3 times Player of the Year, Bialkowski. Paul Hurst's Bialkowski, Dave, because I still couldn't figure out. It happened so quickly. I didn't know whether it was Kodja or El Mohammadi who stepped over it, but it was Abraham at the back post.
It's El Mohammadi.
It's El Mohammadi.
I watched it back, yeah.
But great save, Dave.
Oh, fantastic save. Yeah, point blank, as we were used to, as you say, Bart-like of the last couple of seasons, really.
Jackson in for Chalobah, 91 minutes, but Villa, frankly, shithouse the stoppage time, and the ball doesn't really get out of the corner. Dave, I received some mockery on YouTube for saying...
No, surely not.
Surely not, yeah. People being mean online with fake pictures of themselves and fake names. Hey, how about that?
Why?
Some improvement. They were in the game. They hit the post at 2-1 down. What's your read just generally on this result?
Yeah, look, did we really expect anything out of the game yesterday?
No.
Leading up to the game, no. We expected 2-0, so I guess 2-1's a step in the right direction and a great goal. And yes, a little bit unlucky. 2-2. Of course, would have taken the 2-2. Of course, would have taken the point. Would he have deserved it? Probably not. But there you go. It's just a shame that. That penalty was. I know his games are turning points, but the Judge McGinn.
With Quainer ready on the touchline. I always remember exactly the same thing, Dave, at Leeds last year. Waghorn and Selena waiting to come on, and Bart throws it over his own line at Leeds. Do you know what I mean? That always seems to happen. Richard, if I was Paul Lambert, I would have done exactly the same thing as he did last night. Play on the injustice of the decisions and make out that we were hard done by in that regard. Can you see where he's coming from?
Yeah, and it wasn't like we were terrible yesterday either, so it's not like he's trying to disguise for a poor performance. Villa are a better team, aren't they? They've got better players, so let's not argue that. Dave made exactly the same point. It's almost like he said it word for word. We expected 2-0, we got 2-1. That was probably as much as we could have expected, ideally more, but that is where we are at the moment. And Lambert's right, 2 really big moments in the game at really critical points where there's still plenty of time for the game to be played. Villa fans were getting nervy, were getting anxious because it just wasn't quite clicking, and they go for us, and maybe the game's a bit different. So it'll be seen whether he gets any fine for that one, because he wasn't backwards and coming forwards on how he thought Stroud officiated the game. But I think it's fair.
How are the changes? We've spoken about Bart. How was Kenlock? overall.
I thought he was.
I mean, we've not mentioned him, have we? Though I guess that's key because he's not made any glaring mistakes, but he's not really contributed a huge amount either, has he?
But was he up against? Was McGinn playing?
No,
right,
it was Adoma, and Adoma.
And Adoma was pretty crap yesterday.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily that great.
They took him off.
But Dave, I think we go back to Harry from Bath's balance point of view, and he can open his body up and receive the ball. He looked a little bit rusty, Kenlock, but
And
I
Downs.
don't know. Downs was irritating me. I think sometimes Downs' football brain is a little bit below his level of talent. Sometimes you think this guy's a really good player, but he sometimes 1 second behind the play when maybe Skuse has got less talent than him, but he's 1 second ahead of the the play.
15 years more experience, though.
Yeah.
But,
that'll be why.
If you look at, the pass says it. I've never seen him play a pass like that before, and it wasn't just a hit and hope. It was something. It was class, absolute class. So there's something there. He'll be fine.
I think it's just the game management, Rich, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's the silly fouls in there. He does that. He did it at Accrington. Got involved in something, didn't he?
Yep.
I guess the one thing that we haven't talked about yet is we seemed to be a much bigger threat when we went a bit more direct in the second half yesterday. Quainer definitely contributed to that. But we were talking about Reading, weren't we, Ben, yesterday, about how we just went for it. We were launching balls into the channels. We were launching it down the middle of the pitch as well.
Couldn't cope with it.
And that seemed to be the tactic for us. And I guess beggars can't be choosers. We can't be saying, we want lovely passing out from the back football. We just need to score bloody goals. So if it requires us to go a bit more direct, then we should be doing it.
And again, talking about Quainer, so I listened to it. It had a great sort of 10, 15 minutes, and I was saying, he really looks apart. And then, did he not get injured? Apparently, he went down with a knee injury.
Yeah, he did. He was down for a while. There was a weird thing where I think
someone fell on him.
Either McGinn fell on top of him or the other way around.
McGinn, I think.
You know that you get that childish thing where there's a break, so they're both holding each other down on the floor. Oh, yeah. But he didn't. There
was a mini melee, wasn't there? People were looking for a bit of trouble there.
Right, we've got loads of questions, and I just need to preface this before we start. If we talk about referees, no one on the podcast is suggesting that Ipswich are bottom because referees don't like them. We're just talking about the game yesterday in isolation. Two things can be true in the world, yeah? It can be true that we had a bad referee, and it can be true that we're bottom of the league. You don't have to link the two together. We are not saying that, if referees were better, we would be 9th in the table. But Dave, here's the first question from Jack Berham. Why are refs so bad? Do you think they need a bit of help in the Championship?
I think so. I mean, is VAR? I've studied. Is VAR coming to the champion? Not that will hopefully.
No, everybody has to have it, Dave. That's the problem. So it's an even playing field. So
it certainly ain't going to be in League One, is it? But
no,
they're even worse in League One, by the way.
Even worse in League One. Yeah. You just notice the standards of the ref, and Stroud. I don't know. He's never going to get any. Well, fortunately, for Christ's sake, he's never going to get any. Yeah, we knew what he was like before. Before the game, everyone said in the lead up, I was on the TWTD. I don't know if you mentioned it on the preview show, but certainly on the forum and on TWTD, like me, Keith Stroud's ref this week. Though I see it, there's we've seen some terrible refs. To be fair, I've seen one or two decent ones, but on the whole, terrible. And this whole assistant, and Rich has got it nailed on. I'm sure refs in the sense, right? Okay, Mike, that stuff. Just look at the offsides. Everything else, just leave to me. And I'm convinced that's what it is.
I think they're also told
Sunday morning stuff.
The guys behind the goal in the Europa League, the guys with the little batons behind the goal. Yeah. They're told only move if you're asked by the ref, and I think that's where we're getting towards. It's like if I don't need you to make this, which basically means that when I'm saying the refs need help, they're giving them actually more to do. Rather than the opposite. Anyway,
Ben, just a thought as well is probably refs were crap for us last season and the season before, but we were in games, we were scoring goals, and it mattered less. It's just because there's nothing, not enough about us in a match that actually now we have to clutch at straws and say, well, the referees cost us that one. Actually, we've not done enough to win the game.
What other games has he? I didn't notice. What other games has he done? Any other games for us this season? When was it? I didn't
Can't
really
remember.
know.
Jeremy Simpson's the other one who's
Who's the
Sheffield
one that
Wednesday.
sent off Nsiala? Was that Jeremy
Yeah, Simpson.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Dylan's asked how many points this season have refs cost us. Not many, but you can point to the Sheffield Wednesday game where Nsiala's sent off before we can make a sub. We've conceded from a corner, and this one yesterday, obviously that. It could have been but hey, we could still have lost. But I would like to repeat on behalf of the Blue Monday podcast, nobody is saying that we're bottom of the league because referees are bad. We understand how bad we are. Don't worry about that. Right. Justin says, why when we are having an awful season do I feel more involved and closer to the team than for the past decade, Dave?
Well, I guess it's been other than that 14-15 anomaly, it's been very much Groundhog Day for the last mid-table. By now, what would have probably scrapped our way to 35 points or something like that, round about now, mid-table security, and it has just been same old. I mean, this season it is different because we have been down there before, obviously when McCarthy came in, but we were soon pretty much out of that. We had a big bounce there. There's been no evidence of that so far under Lambert. Yeah, but the fans have been incredible, really. I mean, again, the away support yesterday, another 1,000+ there yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, even I've seen one or two tweets from Villa fans saying, "Oh, fantastic!" Considering fantastic support. So I think that's what it is. Apart from that one season, it's been same old, hasn't it? Until this season, which unfortunately is t'other way.
Anything to be said for a football manager wanting the fans to be part of it rather than a manager who tells the fans that if they shout for a particular player, they're not going to get picked?
I think there is a comment, there is a modicum of that, Rich. I think you probably nailed it there.
Richard, this is JP. Is it time for a new goalie? As it seems both Bart and Gherkin seem very shaky and lack confidence.
I mean, it's not going to be a priority in the January window, is it? It's a good question, isn't it? It's a really difficult one to answer, that one. I'm not sure. I mean, Bart has had his break. I think Lambert was quite clear he wanted to give him some time out to kind of get his head right and get back up to speed after maybe missing pre-season World Cup and Malcolm Webster and stuff. And he was back to it yesterday. I would say he wasn't a 10 out of 10 yesterday, but a 7 out of 10 maybe. He's a better keeper than Gherkin, certainly. So we just need to get the best out of Bart and then see where we are at the end of the season. And if we get money for Bart to bankroll a bit of some new signings for League One, then great. If we stay up, even better. But I'm pretty certain that Gherkin's not the answer for any of those questions.
David, this is Dommy Boy 79, who's dressed as Gene Simmons with the face paint on in his avatar. Even with Chalobah having a good game yesterday, are we right to keep playing him ahead of Ted Bishop and other mids who are ours? Excuse me.
I must admit, I would always find a place in my team for Bishop. I really would, because he is just something different. Yeah, Chalobah gives you, he's powerful and he's up and down, but Bishop has just got, for me, when he's on it, has got that little bit
Dave,
extra.
If you play this 4-3-3, you could, with Bishop being a dribbler, he could go in one of the wide spots and
honestly. He would always, I don't know, he would always be in my team. And even when he hasn't figured last certainly 2 or 3 games off the bench, I don't think. But the game I think he started or he did come on, he just gives that little bit of difference. He's got that ability to beat players, to in that tight midfield area, he can just drift past play and influence a game like that. He'd always be in my team.
Okay. I thought it was Chalobah's best game yesterday. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, well, I heard that.
I wonder how much of that was playing up to Abraham, who obviously is a teammate from Chelsea, but I thought
they had a bit of handbags at one point, didn't they, by all accounts?
Possibly friendly handbags. But
no
comment on Bishop, I thought Chalobah maybe playing into a bit of form. I think he was quite good yesterday.
Yeah, something there, isn't there? Richard, PRB9, I think the real test of the owner's resolve will be if we're relegated. Will he clear out half decent, higher earning players and start again with lower league players for us to find our level?
I mean, that's a question for Lambert, probably more than Evans. But the fact we've got about 9 or 10 first teams out of contract, it probably makes it a really easy chance to clear out some deadwood and rebuild. And it's going to have to be with League One players and hopefully some of our academy players that maybe haven't as much of a chance. The likes of Cannot, but also Emmanuel Bishop, maybe he's likely to get another deal, I suspect. So, yeah, we'll see what Lambert wants to do.
Dave, Chris Hodges, if the season was to end, are there any positives we can take? My only one would be the emergence of Jack Lancaster.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I couldn't disagree.
Okay,
I think Lankos has been he's been the one positive. Say the one positive. Yeah, he's been the biggest positive. Unfortunately, we didn't say this. He's now out injured for indefinite amount of time. Well, he didn't really put anything on it, did he? For next few games, few weeks, did he say?
Yeah.
Few weeks, didn't he? So that doesn't that doesn't sound great. But yeah, he's been a real positive, I think.
Okay, we'll stay with you then, Dave. What has Ellis Harrison done wrong to not be in the squad recently?
That's a very good question as well. I just don't
Harvey
think perhaps,
Davis. Sorry, I didn't shout him out.
Yeah, I just don't think perhaps he's got the. So yeah, if you look at Quainer, maybe not Keane so much. He's a bit slight, but Quainer is a unit. He's 6'3", 6'4", whatever he is. And ball accounts yesterday when he came off the bench, he really did. You could see what he was about, and he did have an effect. Harrison perhaps hasn't got. I like Harrison, and I think the ball does stick to him up there, but maybe he just hasn't got those physical attributes. But I think certainly, he's our player for League One. Be a great player. If that's what we're looking at.
Benji ITFC King has asked about Gherkin and Bart. I think we've done that. And asked about the first goal. I think Dave's covered that. Ben Frost's asked exactly the same. Bishop playing over Chalobah, so I think we've done that.
I wouldn't say over Chalobah though. Going back to Bishop.
Sorry.
But,
okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that at all. But I'd find a place for him in the team somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. Granted. We've got one of those shag, marry, kill things. I'm not touching that with a barge pole because Renegade Statman's name's on there. So, this is ITFC.
I'd marry Stat. I'd marry him tomorrow.
Would you? Yeah. Richard, would Naked Martin be a better option overseas?
Why do you keep asking me about Naked Martin?
It's your turn.
Best friends.
Yeah.
What was the question? Sorry, I'm thinking about other stuff now. What
would he be a better option than Sears?
Well, it depends
not
on what.
That goal yesterday.
Naked dancing.
I would switch that round. Would Sears be a better option than him?
Well, what I would say is Judge swinging those balls into the box.
Swinging balls, be careful.
There you go.
Naked Freddie Sears could be. Yeah, okay.
But can we exclusively announce that Naked Martin's got a headline set on the 16th of February, then, or is that?
Naked Freddie.
Have I spoken to?
Naked Freddie. Although, could Freddie? You said he did a little dance. Could Freddie have done the sort of Martin dance, little dance celebration after he scored?
Freddie's quite shy, isn't he?
He went straight back to the halfway line.
You like to think so?
Yeah. Pete Carr. I'll stay with you, Richard, because the last question was such a soft ball. Since the draw at Reading, we've lost all 6 away league games. We need to start picking up points on the road to have any chance. Is there anything you think Lambert could do differently to make this happen, or is the squad simply not good enough?
So we alluded to it before. I think changing the style of play to be a bit more direct works. Away from home, it worked at Reading, and it worked to an extent yesterday. So that would probably be my.
Can I expand on that though, Rich? Not necessarily. I see if you agree with me. Not necessarily more direct all over, but if you're going to play football, where you play it, because even Cardiff last year, there was actually some freedom for their guys up the pitch to, if they had Hoylett or Tomlin or whoever their creative guys were, but in their own half, they did not piss about with it, did they? And I think there's a grey area, Dave, between being Cardiff and being Wolves of last season, isn't there? I think you can kind of do both and just, I think, play to our strengths a bit in our half.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's you mentioned him earlier. If you haven't got someone like a Magilton in the midfield who just demands the ball, give me the ball, and Magilton will do that. Magilton will pick the pass. If you haven't got anyone like that, then the thing is to go direct. We haven't got anyone in the club like that. Maybe you said Judge could be that man, but perhaps a bit further forward. But we haven't got anyone like that at the moment. I don't. We just and I said before, this passing at the back, I say, is admirable, but it looks horrible. It looks horrible. Yeah.
I mean, we've had a problem. We've talked about Keane being isolated and Jackson's being isolated. We talked about that before throughout the season. I think our big issue is just getting up the pitch a little bit. If that means moving bodies up the pitch rather than, as you say, kind of camping in the centre circle and trying
runners.
Just get up the pitch. I think that's the biggest issue. Keane yesterday, bless him, as we said, you could have stuck anyone there and wouldn't have done anything. But if he'd had Judge and maybe Sears around him and the three other midfielders had moved up, and maybe the back four had moved up a little bit as well.
But guys, Rich, 2 positions. A deep line playmaker, don't have one, and a number 10, don't use one. Do you know what I mean? That's where most teams cut through, isn't it?
Who was playing that deeper role yesterday, Skews or Chalobah?
So Skews was deeper, but he's not a playmaker. And then the other two were kind of buzzing about in front of him. That's not a knock on Skews.
No.
Alex Tetty's not a playmaker, but he just gives the ball to Morris Leitner. John Fleck's not a playmaker, but he gives the ball to Wally Norwood. Kevin McDonald's not a playmaker, but he gives it to Tom Kearney.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Same with correlation back in the day. Holland
Saiss
and Neves.
Holland and Magilton.
We need a Kante, don't we? That's who we need.
Be nice, wouldn't it? There you go. Play him in every position. Mullet, Dave. Criticisms of Lambert are growing slowly on social media. Is there a genuine case to answer that he hasn't been good enough, or are these people misguided to look at him right now? Is he good enough in game, or more importantly, are his signings? Lots to that.
I mean, I think the signings, you can't just pitch as he did last week. Maybe you can't pitch five sold the week before, was it rather? You can't pitch 5 or 6 signings in and just expect it to happen. I mean, you saw it yesterday. Was there perhaps evidence that, it was perhaps gelling a little bit more yesterday? I don't know. I don't know. As for his in-game stuff, I mean, he seems that he is going to play this 4-3-3. Perhaps we could certainly mix that up in game. He seems to use his subs fairly sparingly, doesn't he?
And I'd
have liked to have seen again yesterday. Bishop's a case in point. All right, perhaps different circumstances. We go 2-0 down, just as he's putting Quainer on. But you'd like to see Bishop get on there. I think,
Dave, with the in-game things, I think maybe what Mullet's referring to, the two glaring ones with me are Eliasson for Bristol City and not doing anything about that when you're winning the game, and then Morrison for Millwall. I think perhaps those are the things. Look, first of all, what I would say is social media is not real life, and it's definitely the tip of the iceberg with the most outspoken, most diehard fans. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about the criticism there. And of course, if your team's anywhere below 17th, it's very easy to criticise, isn't it? So who knows? We might be right.
Just a thought about it as well. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a bit artificial in the social media, and people are going to have kind of controversial opinions and all that kind of stuff. But people slagging off Lambert, and I don't think people are calling for his head or whatever. But what else do they expect? And if you don't like Lambert, who else is going to rock up and do any better with what we've got? I mean, I think Mullet is in his question says, has he got a free pass until the end of the season? I think he absolutely has.
Probably has. Although as of yesterday, Ben's fave, another ex-podcast fave, Steve Evans is available. And also, Ben,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the podcast. It's been great. It's been great. Thank everyone.
You've got to say for the pod, if only we can hang on this season, because who might be coming back next season is the Sandy Ballbag.
Oh, is he going to get relegated? Is he?
Well, they're down there, aren't they?
Let's just take a couple more. A lot of people asking about tactics. Super Frans. What tactics should we deploy at Carrow Ride? Park the bus or play our most creative players? Can I just quickly come in and say again, it's not binary. You don't have to either play all-out defence and complete long ball or total football. I really think he can get the right mix. And okay, I may have come on here and criticised Mr. McCarthy, but at the moment it would seem more sensible on a goal kick to push the entire back four up to 40 yards and play from there. Try and get Judge in and around, try and get Challenge, and then try and play some football. I think you can do both, can't you?
Yeah, I agree. What I have noticed this season, and you've seen far more games, certainly away games, certainly at Portman Road, is the second ball. When we do that, this season we just do not, and Rotherham was a case in point, we just do not seem to land on the second ball or win the second ball at all. It just comes straight back every time. Well, certainly Rotherham, and I'm sure countless other games this season. That's been for me, it's been another issue, really.
Right, we're going to do this. In terms of go ahead, Rich. Go on. Just
a thought on the question. I think we're all pretty anxious about the Norwich game, aren't we? Particularly after yesterday. Some good goals they scored.
Wow.
My thought is, If we're going to go down, we may as well go down fighting, and we may as well try and take the game. I absolutely agree with all the tactical points you made there, Ben. If we get to the point where we're in the game against Norwich in the second half, fantastic. If we find ourselves by attacking to be 1 or 2-0 down, then maybe we shut up shop and just keep in damage limitation. But I just don't want to go down without trying. Don't die without trying. Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree. And I think, I know you use that frequently, I don't think we can shithouse Norwich for 90 minutes, can we?
No,
nobody has. Nobody has at all, have they?
No.
So, but you can.
And their defence is shaky as well.
But the teams that have beaten them,
conceded.
It's been conceding. 4 at home to West Brom, 4 at home to. Anyway, you've
2
got.
again.
I'm sure you've got a whole 2 hours lined up with Harry from Bath on this one, Richard. Here's the scroll of honour. We're sorry if you didn't look. Literally.
Is that Naked Martin?
No, that's under my favourites. That's in my personal file. That one there. Right, let's go to the roundup, guys. Rotherham 1, Leeds 2. Good day for Leeds yesterday, Dave, because it was Norwich 2, Sheffield United 2. So Leeds, I think I got this wrong on my video, and then Leeds fans just obliterate me.
It was looking horrible for like half an hour, 40 minutes. Norwich were winning. Norwich were beating Sheffield United. Leeds were losing to Rotherham, and it's all going.
What a goal by Semi Ajayi as well!
What a move! What a move, and then what a strike!
When I look at Championship highlights, Rich, and I think Rotherham, I think okay, so Will Volks,
Smith,
in it goes. Raggett's gonna knock it down. Great goal. But I would say it was a good day for West Brom, but they drew in the cup, and I was looking at February. And it's literally, some of these teams are going to be playing 4 3-game weeks in a row. I know you like to go Saturday, Tuesday, Dave. But literally the entire of February, West Brom have already got in the diary. They've already got 7.
They've got a replay.
7 in 21 games. And if they win their replay, it could be, add another 3 on in another 7 days.
I think the lad that went back to Leicester is going to be a miss for them. All right, they've got Gale who scores for fun and Rodriguez, but I think that Barnes has had a hell of an influence this season there. He must have scored, I don't know, many 7 or 8. Christ knows how many assists he had as well.
I think it was 9 and 6 or something, wasn't it? It was silly numbers.
He's going to be a big miss for them.
The flip side to the FA Cup, Saturday, Tuesday is a team gets a week off, don't they, as well? So the teams that didn't have a fixture in the Championship yesterday have now got fresher for whoever they've got next Saturday as well. So that's a factor as well.
Yeah. On we go. Blackburn 3, Hull 0. Rovers 4 wins in a row. The Hull run ends. I'll sprint through these guys. Forest, it looks to have been told by Martin O'Neill to shoot from outside the area and stop with this tippy-tappy stuff because all their goals were like that. And a lesser-spotted Joe Garner missed penalty. And when is someone going to sign Alan Brown, for goodness sake? Every single week. It's 10 goals from centre midfield from Preston. Deary me. There we go. Ipswich, obviously, let's get on to the extrapolation because we're going quite long. Ipswich 24 placed with 18 points from 29 games, Dave. 0.62. Do you remember when we used to moan about 1.4 or 1.5?
Just quickly, I just noticed today, and I didn't appreciate it. Did you see the game that Norwich have got in between the derby? Leeds away.
I'm there next week. Yeah, I'm there.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday 5:30. Yeah. Yeah. So 0.62, projecting 28 points for the season. When you think about that, if your average points is 0.6, rounded up to the nearest 10, if you win a game, you're 500% over your average. It's insane how bad we are, isn't it?
Come on, Sheffield Wednesday. And also, just on another game, I assume you're not at this one. Tuesday's Bolton Reading.
Going to mention that. Bolton Reading on Tuesday. So, and Reading have got Nelson Oliveira in now and a US centre half. They're the only.
From Chelsea, we don't want that. If Reading win, that goes to 8, doesn't it? I looked today, it goes to 8, and they'll have about 15 goals on us as well.
Is it at Bolton?
Is that Bolton? Yeah.
So they get more tennis balls as well, maybe.
Yeah, cold and windy out there. Listen to this. Top minutes. Chambers, age 33. Chalobah, on loan. Pennington, on loan. Knudsen, for sale. Skews, age 32. That's our backbone of our team this season. Top goals. Sears 6, Edwards 4, Jackson 4, Chalobah 2.
Go on, Freddie.
Top assists, Sears 4, Ward 2. 10 players on 1 assist.
Odds on Freddie getting double figures?
Ooh, I would give you 12 to 1.
What?
Do you think he's going to get another 4 in the remainder?
I think he will. Yeah, I think he will.
Well, you take me 12-1.
So I'll have it.
I might. Shoots from outside the box now. Everything's going in for him.
There you go. We would normally go to Two Little Ducks here, but in a change to the advertised programming, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CV game, because on February the 16th, the CV game is coming to the live show, and this is a chance to win prizes live, audience members. Statman's sorted out some nice prizes.
Oh, yes,
so what we're going to do, we're going to give you a little refresher on the CV game. But, guys, this is CV game head-to-head. So you're playing against each other. And this is what the audience are going to be doing at the live show. So what I'm going to do, when I say a name of a club, you're going to say the word stop if you want me to stop, and then you can make your guess. You only get one guess per club, and then I'll move on. Okay, so you're playing against each other. Let me give you the rules of the CV game. I'm going to read out in order the clubs of a player, often
Dave's
related.
Sorry, Dave's face looks great.
Oh, I hate this game.
What are the worst of Two Little Ducks?
Is it going to be with the Ipswich link or not?
Well, I'll yeah. Two of them are and one of them isn't, but I'll tell you which one they come. Oh, there's three of them. There's three of them. Three of them. This is head-to-head, best of three.
Tell you what, I memorised the teams for Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ipswich Town 4 for the start of the season. I'd much rather go to those.
There you go.
No.
You're not getting them. You're not getting them, Richard.
Denied.
So, for example, if I said Colb Ramblers, Nottingham Forest, Manchester United, Celtic, you would say...
Royston.
Royston Keane.
Royston Drenthe. There you go. You would say Roy Keane. There you go. So it's the first person to get the player. So you've got to say stop if you want to make a guess. Okay, so are you ready, boys? I sense a hole-in-one coming in this first one. Right. First play. And remember, on the live show, we're playing for prizes here. And Richard won't be playing. Dave won't be playing. Statman, Harry, none of them will be playing. It's the audience. So this is your time to shine if you have a ticket. Here comes player number 1, club number 1, Fortuna Düsseldorf.
European.
Club number 2, Arminia Bielefeld. Club number 3, no one's saying stop, FC Ingolstadt. Club number 4, on loan to Hansa Rostock. Club number 5, VfR Aalen. Club number 6, Union Berlin. Club number 7.
Colin Quana.
Ah, and there you go. Colin is going for Colin Quana. So the next one I was going to say was Huddersfield Town, and the next one I was going to say was on loan to Ipswich Town. Right, here is your non-Ipswich one. Are you ready? Club number 1, Galatasaray. Club number 2, Glasgow Rangers. Club number 3, Blackburn Rovers.
Stop.
We'll let Dave have that one because it was a bit of a tight heat.
Oh, it's not going to be him, is it? I'll say Two Guy, but
Two Guy, yes,
Two
Guy,
okay.
Good stuff. The link is, I think he was just about the best player I saw in.
Can't remember him ever playing for Rangers.
A good point in his career as well. Can you imagine him at that point in his career? Although sometimes those type of centre midfielders actually get better when they hit 30, don't they? Mm. Right, so this is the decider, and there is an Ipswich link to this one. Are you ready, boys?
Go on then.
Tottenham Hotspur. A loan to Leyton Orient.
Stop. James Clapham.
We're moving on, not James Clapham.
Am I now out?
Not for the rest of the game. You can come in on the next one. So, Tottenham, Leyton Orient, another loan to the San Jose Earthquakes. And then another loan to Aston Villa. And then another loan to Derby County. A full-time move to Derby County. And then a full-time move to the San Jose Earthquakes.
What?
And from the San Jose Earthquakes to Ipswich Town.
What?
No way.
So can we go through them again?
Can we have a decade?
Oh, go on. Yeah, decade.
Sorry. Stop, Simon
Go on,
Dawkins.
Simon Dawkins.
Got there in the end.
Can we just clip Dave's face? His reaction to poor Simon Dawkins. There you go.
He's not an Ipswich player.
That's a little bit of the fun we're going to have on February the 16th.
Pants.
But Dave, you don't have to play on February the 16th.
Thank God.
But there you go. The CV game makes a welcome return. Tweet us in. Let us know how much you enjoyed it, whether it was 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, or 10 out of 10, because I certainly did. Dave, Sheffield Wednesday are coming, and Mr. Lettershead, Steve Bruce, will be coming with them too, and probably Albert El Mohammadi if
They're just about to play at Chelsea, aren't they? They're just about to kick off in the Cup.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we hope they play 120 minutes. And
they've been doing, I think...
Barry Bannon hurts himself enough to not be with us, but not to hurt himself properly.
Fletcher's been banging in the goals, hasn't he, I think, recently?
He has. So, 17th place, Dave. Nice little surge since Josh Lahukai came. I'm sure Richard and Harry will give this the treatment on Thursday. 1 defeat in 8 games, but they're playing Chelsea as we speak. I've banned the term winnable game, Dave, but is this an opportunity to take some points?
Christ, you'd think so, yeah. Given who we've got. Well, after that, we've got
nice low key game after that one, yeah.
Then we've got Derby midweek, haven't we?
Yeah.
Derby midweek at Portman Road, and then of course the live show.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the must winnable games, that we can't not win that game. If we have any
I bet we
pretext,
can.
well, no, do you know what I mean? If we've got
It's
any pretext of staying up this season, we have to win that game and then hope.
We've got to win our home games,
it's
haven't we,
almost
basically?
Last chance to lose. Well, Rich, we've got to win at least. I think we've got to win. We're never going to win all our home games, and that means we've got to win, 3 away games? That's not going to happen, is it? Let's face it.
And I don't know why, I'm just slightly worried about Reading. I'm slightly worried about them. All they need to do is get like 1.3 points per game for 5 games, and they'll be off in the distance. And it just looks like Wigan and Millwall are all too far away, and then Ipswich, Bolton, and Rotherham are going to be stuck in a hole.
Are Millwall going to be distracted in the cup? I'm trying to think of the teams that are slightly above the bottom 3 that might be dragged into it.
Yeah, it's only Wigan and Millwall, isn't it? And
Millwall have got like 34 points, haven't they? Millwall have gone, I think.
Well, Millwall have done 3 wins on the trot twice this season, so 18 points.
And you can see them string at least another couple of wins on the bounce, and and the Millwall will be fine. At home they'll be fine, won't they?
Well, there you go. So, look, Sheffield Wednesday next week. So the plan is Mikey's going to be hosting next week, and Dave, you're going to be on the show, and it will probably be Joe or Statman will be on there. I am going to do Preston Derby, and then I'm going to do the Talk Norwich City, now legendary interview that we get every time Dave's coming in.
Stop right there. You're going to do Preston Derby?
I've never been to Preston. I need to get it done. Yeah.
When is it? When's that game?
Friday night. So I'm doing Preston Derby and then Leeds Norwich. So I won't be at Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, and my hamster's come to say hello. Hello, Reginald. Hello to all the listeners from Reginald who's at the door. So I've completely lost my thread.
Sorry, Preston Derby, and I interjected.
And you're going to have a chat with Chris Reeve and
no, it's only going to be Jack. It'll only be Jack.
Oh, everyone's disappointed at that.
They all want the rematch, don't they? Although I don't even think it was a points decision last time. I think it was a bit of a home run in my favour, that one, wasn't it?
I think so. Slam dunk.
Yeah, slam dunk. Slam dunk the funk. Put it up if you've got that feeling. I think we're there, aren't we? Rich, give a plug for your wonderful preview show, please.
Yep, we're back Thursday. Me, the straight man. Harry with a lovely lilting Irish accent, talking all things Sheffield Wednesday.
If you're the straight man, what's Naked Martin? Move on. Dave, give a plug for when's this week? You got rave reviews from this week in ITFC history.
Yeah, it was a good one last week.
Yeah.
It was good last week. I mean, we only recorded it last week. Don't ask me the games we did. I can't remember them now, but there was some crap. Oh, we did a Man United one. That was in there. A Man United one with a potential record crowd, as they often were in the 70s. So I don't think there's one this week. Potentially one the week after. Then obviously we're going to run into the live show. But I did say
live segment in Act 2 of the live show. We will have Dave and Statman doing this week in ITFC history.
I think it's a couple of games. But I did say for Julian Hughes that I would do a bit of tonight's show in the style of Jim Bowen.
Okay.
Don't ask. So you can't beat a bit of Blue Monday.
Oh, there we go. Actually, can we do that as the outro? So I'll say goodbye to everyone. Follow the brand at Blue Monday ITFC. Richard, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Dave, say it.
Can't beat a bit of Blue Monday.
Even better back to Stewart. Oh, he turns to defend quickly. Round the goalkeeper.